sitting comfortably, and we've got the stools here. Let me ask Miguel Arias, who is the Global Entrepreneurship Director, and Wayra Telefónica Director Innovation Ventures, to come and join me. Come and sit down with me. Well, it's a great pleasure to have both of you here with me. So why don't we break the ice with Miguel first of all. Tell us what Telefónica is looking for in the ecosystem, the entrepreneurship ecosystem.
I think the entrepreneur and the corporation have used different languages. And what we want to do is play that interface, like a translator between the ecosystem and the Telefónica group. And I mean interface, it's a global interface because innovation happens everywhere. Silicon Valley, I think you agree with me as an example. And we need to be close to the entrepreneurs in Sao Paulo, in Munich, and Barcelona, Madrid, everywhere. And we have this network of hubs. We're connected to 7 Wayra hubs and 35 of Innovation Ventures, which are regional.
But Miguel, those hubs are important for us, aren't they? But why? Because they're spaces?
Well, yeah, I'm calling them hubs, not co-working space, because a hub is where things actually happen, where you exchange knowledge and experiences. So increasingly more, what we look for is to get that technology and bring it outside. So we transform hubs into labs where we show IoT platforms, blockchain platforms, and in the future, and even cloud computing. And we also have activation programs where we develop specific programs to make sure that startups use our platforms and go to the market with our name. And then the idea is to get scalability here, make sure these companies grow with us and taking up to another level. Our claim is that
I loved it when you said that this is all about an attitude. I think it is an attitude here in Telefónica, and I think we can certainly go out beyond those great reference points. What you said was really interesting. You said we were going to scale up startups. So, Wayra, turning to you, what can you tell us about the help that we give to those startups to scale up? What are we doing exactly? And in Telefónica Innovation Ventures, what sort of startups are we looking for? Well, I think you yourself, Irene, mentioned this at the start. Telefónica Ventures was launched in 2006, and the aim was to invest in strategic startups. And since then, our vision and our mission hasn't changed at all. We're still looking for those companies that can help us to solve the key challenges of the telecoms industry and to build up new businesses using cutting-edge technology. And to do that, we work very closely with our business areas in Telefónica. We actually get support from them to help the startups and also to make sure that we can sponsor those investments so that there always is a work plan to work with these companies. What we want is to be able to integrate those technology in-house so that we can use them and at the same time to be able to distribute them to our customers. Well, a lot of this sounds great, doesn't it? But it's a tough path. It's hard to do. And to do that, we look for those companies that are a little more mature than others. We say in the investment jargon that they have a product market feed. These companies have that. And in money terms, then they tend to be as of Series A in investment terms or B or C. And with that, we think that working together with our business areas and working with the startups, we'll be able to help them to grow. And we will turn into strategic investors for them. Innovation, and I think you've all mentioned this before, is everywhere, isn't it? And we can't just look for it in one single place. So we invest in all sorts of companies in our footprint, also in Silicon Valley in Israel, or wherever those most innovative companies are. So that's the direct investment side of it. But here in Ventures, we also invest as limited partners in other investment funds. Now, those funds help us to back up and strengthen our presence in key ecosystems, and they help us to open our eyes to bring in more companies. In 2002, we started off the very first funds, the Amerigo funds, but just a few years back, we started to work in key areas, Silicon Valley, Israel, etc. So adding up all of this, the direct investment, the funds, the Wayra startups, I think we have a large fabric, a large network of companies working together with Telefónica. I think the figure you gave us before was, what was it, 140, I think you said? Yes.
Yes, 140. And we're very proud of the number. These are companies that I said are working with Telefónica, means they have a commercial contract with us. It's not just a pilot or testing a concept. You spoke about family, and we can say that the companies are part of the Telefónica group. These are companies in which we are investing. And that gives us a right to play, to offer those products and services to third parties, customers in B2B or even B2C. But to get that pilot to become a commercial product and reach out to hundreds of thousands of customers, we need to go through three main barriers. And these are, well, the first one is people. The risk aversion that normally people have, a manager of a company might have to launch a product that is not fully tested or doesn't have the right scale. So we have to work with that. The second barrier is processes. How can we simplify processes so that startups are easier to go through procurement, legal, and all these corporate processes? And then we have a direct path for startups so they can work better with us. The third one is a technological barrier. How can we have open APIs so they can connect with us, integrate, and have a product that we can sell, bill, and scale it? So three barriers, and the most important one is to be an internal champion who is supporting us within the company so this project can be successful. And talking about success, we also celebrate great stories, and we have a few companies, startups, which are our champions, and companies that have grown the most or are currently growing fastest and have their greatest potential nowadays. We group them into what we call our Hall of Fame, and these are companies that, well, jointly are working best with us. So we created a website, and you can see it in this event website, and you have the three-dimensional environment where you can see experience of these entrepreneurs, how they're working with us, what are the challenges and the opportunities that they've found. So I think it's pretty cool, 360, and also have coming up the startup portfolio, and there's a QR code which you can probably see on the screen right now, so you can see the link, click on that link, and after the event you can visit it.
Yeah, it's great. I've already browsed through it myself, and you're all going to like it. We sound a bit like plumbers sometimes, Miguel, with all of the what happens behind the scenes to make things work properly. It's a bit like the internal plumbing of a business. And that is something, of course, that people can't see because that means we've done it properly. They can't see it. You said something that was really important. You talked about that right to play. You said that we have to have an advantage there with the startups. So what does Telefónica give to the startups? What is our differential value? What makes them work with us? Well, I think you said it before, didn't you, yourself? We invest because we want to be strategic investors. We want to help these companies to grow. And to do that, the starting point is, of course, to find the alignment there with those companies in the strategic areas. So strategic for us in Telefónica, the very first one in telco, of course, is networks. That's our strategic area. There's a revolution out there, isn't there? Virtualization and, of course, artificial intelligence applied to networks. And there's a big opportunity to work with startups there without even thinking about all of the new services that will come out of 5G. That's another major area that we're concentrating on. Well, last year, Telefónica announced the setup of Telefónica Ventures to focus on technical businesses, cloud, IoT, big data, and cyber. These are areas where there are lots and lots of startups, and we'd like to focus very much on those areas. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we announced a new vehicle that has been set up precisely for that reason, to focus on cyber. It's called, as I said, Telefónica Ventures. It's powered by 11 Paths. And why is it called that? Because we're doing it in ventures and together with 11 Paths, which is our cyber company in Telefónica. So we're contributing the investment experience. We're working with companies as investors. And the 11 Paths put in everything that they know well how to do at the cyber side. And that means that they can do better screening of the companies, pick up on the right opportunities. But 11 Paths at the same time integrates the companies into their product catalog. And just imagine the business can be generated in that way for the startups. So the vehicle was set up with 9 companies from Wayra and also from Telefónica Ventures. And let me mention a couple of them for you. Nozomi or 4IQ from Silicon Valley. And from Wayra, we have Smart Protections and Countercraft, flagship companies in the Spanish ecosystem. And I think we all should feel very proud about that. The idea for this new vehicle is that it should be able to support these new companies, but we should also be able to complement that portfolio with new investments. So wherever innovation is, we will go out there and find it. So when you're saying that this vehicle is an in-house vehicle, it started off with Telefónica Tech, didn't it? But are you open to outside investors? Yes, we're actually thinking about that too, because we believe that is a very exciting value proposition for outside investors, because to work with cyber experts, well, we've got a lot we can contribute there. I think it's a win-win proposition for everyone, for these potential new investors, for these startups working with us, and for 11path, which is, of course, able to actually add to its product catalogue, but mainly for our customers, because we will be able to offer those customers better solutions, more complete solutions.